Who/what are you as a light being? So, in my last video, I explained how, as the true self, you are a giant pool of awareness, right? And then that true self becomes a soul when that giant pool of awareness, right, says, okay, I want to observe myself from this point. So that giant awareness becomes a small focal point that observes itself. Now, when that small focal point observes itself, it turns into the physical universe. So the focal point is now observing itself, but itself is appearing as the physical universe. I can explain this a bit more in later videos. Now, with that being said, after that happens, right? After you have the focal point starts to think, act, feel, all that other shit, and identify with its thoughts, feelings, and actions. This creates a personality, and then we get the human body from there and all that other stuff. Now, with that being said, you may have heard that you are light. You are a light being. What does that actually mean to be a light being? So, what is light? First, I'm going to describe light as thoughts and emotions due to the fact that, right, light is electromagnetic radiation, which is made of electromagnetic waves. Now, thoughts produce electric waves, emotions produce magnetic waves, electromagnetic waves, light. Light is made of thoughts and emotions, aka intelligence or information. I even asked Ryan Cropper, would you call light thought and emotion due to the fact that, the electromagnetic radiation shit? He said, yes, you could consider light as thoughts and emotions. You could call light information. I'm like, okay, so light is thoughts and emotions, light is information, light is intelligence. So pretty much your light being self starts, right? When that soul, that focal point of awareness started to think. So the first thought that you have is the beginning of your light body. But also remember this, your light body, right? You being a light being, right, means that you have somewhat formed an identity. So what happens is, right, as a light being, your light being self resonates with the frequency of the human body that you're going to take. It resonates with the genetics and the DNA and stuff like that. You feel me? And your personality emerges from your past life experiences, from your genetics, and from the shit you experience on this earth. Now, with that being said, as a light being, you're only a light being because you have gained an identity. But an identity is not bad. Your identity is only bad when you completely forget what you actually are. So you can be aware that, okay, I'm a human right now. I identify with my human body, but I also identify with my true self. Because when you become the true self, when you become nothing, you actually become everything. Because you start peeping that nothing underlies everything. Therefore, when you become nothing, you underlie everything and actually become everything. Now, also with the other shit being said, right? That light being self, like I said, has an identity. It's only bad when you confuse this for your only identity and then you get more and more and more physical. Because there's beings in that astral plane who have an identity and stuff like that. You feel me? But they don't have a human body because their identity is not physical and stuff like that. You feel me? Now, why do I say you have an identity? Because imagine these thoughts and emotions, right? They pop off and they give waves, right? But these electrical signals and waves and shit could always just go the fuck away. Why don't they go away? It's because the thought and emotion kind of popped up and your awareness like held onto it. So now instead of just popping up, being electricity, then just going away, it pops up, goes like this, and now you identify with it and it stays there like this. So your light being itself is pretty much a group of thoughts and emotions that you identify with that are more subtle than the thoughts than that are more subtle than the thoughts and emotions that you get while being a human being. But still, they are still thoughts and emotions that you identify with. And they're not bad as long as you can also identify with the source. If you could be the source, the soul, the light being, and the human all at the same time, no problem. If you forget what you are, though, that's the problem. So you as a light being, right, is pretty much the beginning of your personality. You identify with early thoughts and emotions that probably originate way before this lifetime. You feel me? They could be close to this lifetime, but they could be very far away from this lifetime. And pretty much you build an identity. You know, thoughts and emotions pop up like this, and instead of fizzing away and stuff like that and dissolving into nothing, you identify with it and focus on it, and it pretty much just stays there as a light being, and it grows and grows and may condense into a human body and stuff like that, or it may stay a light being or some other shit. So that's pretty much it. That is who slash what you are as a light being. As a light being, you are pretty much the beginning of the personality. You are starting to form an identity, you know? You're becoming identified with thoughts and emotions that are probably very subtle, and it's not a bad thing unless you forget what you actually are. Peace.